Welcome back once again to the News Media. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the residents within the Mount Kenya region in Nyeri County have totally rejected the result of Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment judgment that happened yesterday on Monday at Milimani Law Court in Nairobi County because, number one, 3 bench judges that were appointed to handle Rigathi Gachagua's case totally handled it politically because those judges were not neutral.
No, I didn't say we shall not sit and watch the constitution being violated. I said we shall not watch the court presiding over the funeral of our constitution.
Yes.
We said we shall not watch the court preside over the funeral of our constitution. We have sat for 10 hours in a funeral for our constitution.
Yes.
A funeral for our democracy, a funeral for our institutions. We have presided over the funeral of the country and the Republic of Kenya.
Why? They were biased. How can you say that Rigathi Gachagua's rights were violated, then later on you again uphold the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua?
We are heartbroken, disheartened, and as the people of the mountain, we are inconsolable. We believed that Rigathi Gachagua would find justice in our courts, but we are appalled and are in disbelief that justice has not been found. This reminds us of the case of a Roman governor in Judea by the name of Pontius Pilate at the trial and crucifixion of Jesus Christ. That even after Pontius Pilate had found Jesus to be innocent, he still allowed for his crucifixion. And that is what we have felt today in our courtrooms. As the people of the mountain, we are heartbroken. And we demand that justice must be found. We stand in solidarity with our kingpin, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. And whatever means he takes from here to pursue justice, we will stand behind him, we'll stand by him, and we'll support him.
And were you expecting this outcome?
Even if you people hate Rigathi Gachagua, but you totally slaughtered the constitution of this country of Kenya. Those 3 bench judges that were appointed to handle Rigathi Gachagua's case totally shamed the image of courts in this country of Kenya.
The consequences of finding that the impeachment has been quashed is that Kindiki should have vacated. I don't know where they got that from. That's why you're calling it judicial nonsense.
But you are not pursuing that in the court. You said
we are going to the Court of Appeal.
To go back to office.
We are going to the Court of Appeal. You've heard how the court has grossed over the other petitions and just dealt with one petition for His Excellency Rigathi and ended up with judicial nonsense and judicial absurdity. We cannot agree to that.
Senator Harrison. Yes. Look, we had a bit. You want to finish?
Yeah, no.
Let me finish.
No. Go on.
You see.
Please,
just finish.
Come in.
When a breach has been found and cleared that the proceedings had a problem, when a right has been breached and when you have not been given a right to be heard, that's a very cardinal issue. Therefore, my position is that, it should have been annulled. And that's the conclusion automatically. Because you have not been accorded an opportunity to be heard. And therefore, it can only be annulled. You can only say that, the court did not arrive at the right decision. We should have automatically had Rigathi Gachagua reinstated.
Okay. There's 50 million shillings on the table for the client that all of you probably represent. Are you going to take it? Are you going to advise your client to take them?
Well, we have to go to the Court of Appeal and discuss all the pending matters, all the issues. The right to be heard is very important. And therefore, the breach is definitely greater than what it is and what has been awarded.
Perhaps very briefly, Harrison, you wanted this judgment arrested. Very briefly, why?
Yes, what a contradiction. You have heard these judges say, Honorable Gachagua's, your right was impeached. It was infringed by the Senate. I'm fining 50 million upon the Senate because of infringing your right to be heard. Excuse me? We filed a petition and asked them, make a finding that Article 145(1) and 2 of the Constitution was breached. What does it say? It says that all the members of the National Assembly must be present. All. Now, this judiciary, they found out, oh, mamma mia, the whole impeachment process will collapse because the Banisa people did not have a member of the National Assembly. The Guasi people, Suba South, today, they didn't have a member of the National Assembly. You know why? And he pointed out that someone elected to go to the executive and left their constituents totally without representation. I'm talking about Mbadi.
Mbadi was a nominated member of parliament, just to correct you.
Yes. And you didn't have a member of National Assembly for Magarini. You also didn't have a member of National Assembly for Banisa I mentioned. Right. Now, these people did not vote. The Constitution demands, and I challenge you, what Constitution were they reading? I challenge you. If you have a Constitution, have a look at Article 145, Sub-Article 1. It is all the members of the National Assembly, all. So they suppressed the hearing of my petition, and they have no shame saying that Honorable Gachagua's right to be heard was suppressed. The Court of Appeal certified the application that we filed as urgent. Now, the Court of Appeal has to consider a bench. It doesn't take 2 minutes or 3 minutes. They know, but they acted blind to it. And the question is now, what have they done in excluding one of the petitions that bore the weight of these very same issues?
All right, Harrison, you've made your point. Well, of course, we'll be following at the Court of Appeal. Allow us to speak to counsel for the respondents as well, so that you tell us. All right.
Kenyan people ought to know. That the motion. No, hold on. Let me finish because you never gave me another. The motion that was tabled by Honorable Mutuse was dead on arrival. This is what the judiciary saw. This is what these judges saw. What do we mean? Standing order number 64, substanding order number 5 says that if you withdraw the signature, any member of the National Assembly withdraws the signature, that motion dies at that point. There was nothing to take to the Senate. There was nothing to resolve upon. There was nothing to impeach Gachagua. Let's be real. Let's be serious in this country. That standing order says there was no motion to debate. Honorable Mutuse knows that. He did not address that in my case. None of the people addressed that in my case. So the question is now, did the Speaker of the National Assembly know? Yes. Did these judges know? Yes. Why is it they have avoided consistently this particular petition? It is because they know. Sorry, my phone. Sorry, they know.
Point made, Harrison Kinyanjui. Wakili Harrison, let's now hear from Senator.
Our courts in the Republic of Kenya are not independent concerning to how they handled regarding Gachagua's case yesterday on Monday. It was handled politically. That is what I can say. Those 3 judges were paid by the government of William Ruto to humiliate regarding Gachagua, but nothing else. It is true. I was shocked. Then you come out with compensation. She really? Because Gachagua did not go there for compensation. Gachagua was there for his right as a Kenyan citizen. Gachagua was seeking justice. Gachagua was not there for compensation at 50 million. What is 50 million to regard Gachagua? What Gachagua wants now is power, but not money. Gachagua wants to be like Raila. Even if Gachagua still remain impeached, but that one does not stop Gachagua from getting waived, from being a kingpin within the Mount Kenya region. Although that speed, that wave within the united opposition will reduce because we are going to have another new beginning of the united opposition leaders. That is not the end of it. That is not the end of opposition in this country of Kenya, but the 3-judge bench totally violated the constitution of Kenya. Tuseme tu kweli. Hawa watu walilipwa. They were not neutral. Some people are saying that, they totally balance the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. How did they balance it? Those 3-judge bench were totally defending the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Masika Wetangula, the Parliament itself, Senate, Amason Kingi. Hakuna kitu ingine. They were just defending MPs, senators, and both two speakers within the National Assembly, Amason Kingi na Moses Masika Wetangula. They were totally biased. I was shocked. We don't have yani, that level. Those people were supposed to discuss that case. They took 10 hours analyzing the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Later on, they tell us that, oh, Gachagua's rights were violated. Oh, Gachagua's impeachment. Then they upheld the impeachment of Gachagua. Oh, the MPs, senators were not biased. We don't have evidence. You spend 10 hours to tell Kenyans that Gachagua's rights were violated. Gachagua is going to be compensated. Yani, I was shocked. 10 hours. But those 10 hours were all about to bury the constitution of Kenya that they slaughtered yesterday. Which is true. Even if you people hate Gachagua, but you totally shame the courts in this country of Kenya alongside the constitution. Those three judges were not independent. They were sent there to humiliate Rigathi Gachagua. That is what I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen. There was a phone call that was made. Hey, lastly, the reason why those judges took 10 hours while analyzing the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua is because they knew what could have happened. If they could have finished this issue as early as possible, hata kama ni saa 11, waongeona moto hapo Nairobi, because Gachagua supporters were within the Milimani Law Court. How can you say that the rights of someone were violated? Then instead of doing the necessity, you again upholding his impeachment. How? But Gachagua is still having high chances of vying ahead of 2027 election. Because lazima hiyo kesi itatoka, iende court of appeal, itoke court of appeal, iende Supreme Court. Gachagua is still having some chances to vie. So let us just pray for Rigathi Gachagua. As he lose hope, bado tuko naye, tuko kwa team one term. Gachagua is still having high chances to vie as the 6th president of this country of Kenya. Thank you so much, and may God bless you for taking your time to listen to our analysis concerning to how things are now boiling nicely within the political space ahead of 2027 election, especially behind Rigathi Gachagua's case that was totally handled politically. Those judges were just politicians. They handled Rigathi Gachagua's case politically. That is what I can say. Let us meet in the next video that is going to be uploaded shortly within no time. Remember to subscribe, comment, and like for more updates daily. Bye-bye.